London. Emergency crews Saturday battled to restore power to hundreds of thousands of homes in Britain after Storm Eunice carved a deadly trail across Western Europe and left transport networks in disarray. At least 13 people were killed by falling trees, flying debris and high winds in Britain, Ireland, the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany and Poland, according to emergency services. Train operators in Britain urged people not to travel, with timetables in chaos after most of the network was shut down when Eunice on Friday brought the largest windburst ever recorded in England, -122 miles, 196 kilometers per hour. The train network in the Netherlands was also paralyzed, with no Eurostar and Thalys international services running from Britain and France after damage to overhead power lines. France was also grappling with rail disruption, and about households were without power. The Alp was worst hit by power cuts, with nearly homes cut off nationwide after one of the most powerful tempests since the Great Storm hit Britain and northern France in 1987, sparking the first ever red weather warning for London on Friday. The Met Office, Britain's meteorological service, issued a less severe yellow wind warning for much of the south coast of England and South Wales on Saturday, which it said could hamper recovery efforts from Storm Eunice. Scientists said both the 1987 storm and Eunice packed a sting jet, a rarely seen meteorological phenomenon born out of an unusual confluence of pressure systems in the Atlantic that magnified the effects on Friday. Ferries across the Channel, the world's busiest shipping lane, were suspended, before the English port of Dover reopened Friday afternoon. Hundreds of flights were cancelled or delayed at London's Heathrow and Gatwick airports and Schiphol in Amsterdam. One EasyJet flight from Bordeaux endured two aborted landings at Gatwick, which saw wind gusts peak at 78 miles per hour, before being forced to return to the French city. London's rush hour streets, where activity has been slowly returning to pre-pandemic levels, were virtually deserted Friday as many heeded government advice to stay at home. The London Fire Brigade declared a major incident after taking 550 emergency calls in just over 2 hours, although it complained that several were unhelpful, including one from a resident complaining about a neighbor's garden trampoline blowing around. The route breakdown service said it had received unusually low numbers of callouts on Britain's main roads, indicating that motorists were taking the weather warnings seriously and not setting up. Experts said the frequency and intensity of the storms could not be linked necessarily to climate change. But Richard Allen, professor of climate science at the University of Reading, said a heating planet was leading to more intense rainfall and higher sea levels. Therefore, he said, flooding from coastal storm surges and prolonged deluges will worsen still further when these rare, explosive storms hit us in a warmer world. A block test. Why?